Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I haven't started yet, I know there always that, is that we have a visiting family with us. As you know, I've been announcing the bar mitzvah of Morris Chusky every single week for the last quite a while now. Well, tomorrow is the big day, and I am hoping that they should be here this evening with us, but I don't know, maybe their drive situation is a little, so, maybe they're here, but I'm hoping that they will join us for the worship this evening. So beg your 5 minutes if you might. If not, then I will start and then they'll just join when they do come. You hearing me okay? Yeah. You hearing me okay? Uncle Tony, what happened to him? No, what happened? Yeah, why? He's not like that. What? Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good evening. We'd like to get started. As I said, we are kind of holding on, but I think they're a bit late. We need to start.
In the spirit of our ancient tradition that hallows and unites Israel in all lands and all ages, we now kindle the Sabbath lights. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitishanu b'mitzvot v'tzivanu lehagnik nel shel Shabbat. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us by thy laws and commanded us to kindle the Sabbath lights. May the Lord bless us with Sabbath joy. May the Lord bless us with Sabbath holiness. May the Lord bless us with Sabbath peace. Amen.
Please remain standing as we continue with our opening prayer, which, if you would like to follow, can be found on page 181, number 3. On this day holy unto Israel, we enter this sanctuary to unite with our brethren in worship. We come unto thee, O God, with joyous gratitude for the strength thou hast given us to do our work during the past week, and for the fortitude to meet trials and temptations. May this hour of devotion awaken within us the consciousness of thy presence and bring peace and rest to our spirits. Aid us to banish all anxiety and fear, all fretting and complaining, and sustain our hearts with faith. Send forth thy light that we may walk in the way of thy commandments. Draw our spirits toward thee and let thy truth lead us. Help us to become instruments of thy will through days of labor and Sabbaths of rest. Through our daily tasks and our worship, we would minister unto thee. Let the beauty of thy holiness shine into our hearts, that we may grow more steadfast in our faith and in our love of thee and our fellow men. Amen. May be seated, and service will continue. Page 11, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Lachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barkni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
A psalm of David. Ascribe unto the Lord, O ye sons of the mighty, ascribe unto the Lord glory and power. The voice of the Lord is upon the waters, the God of glory thundereth, the Lord is upon mighty waters. The voice of the Lord breaketh the cedars, yea, the Lord shivereth the cedars of Lebanon. The voice of the Lord flasheth flames of fire. The voice of the Lord causeth the oaks to shake and maketh the forest bare, while in his temple everything says glory. The Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace.
Lecharodi lekrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela Shamo v'zachor b'dibor echad Yishmiyaru el ha'meuchad Adonai echad Ushmo echad Leshem ol tiferet v'lid hilah Likrat Shabbat Lechu benacha Ki mechor habaracha Merosh mecherem nesucha Sof maseh b'machshava tichila Boi v'shalom Ateret bala Gam b'simcha ובסעלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה, ויכל עליך
Mizmor Shelayom HaShabbat. It is good to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High. Upon the 10-stringed instrument and upon the psaltery, and with a solemn sound upon the harp. How great, O Lord, are all thy works, how exceedingly profound are thy thoughts. When the wicked spring up like grass and the workers of iniquity flourish, it is that they may be destroyed forever. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. They shall still blossom in old age. They shall be full of sap and verdant. The Lord reigneth clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed and hath girded himself with power. The world is also established, that it cannot be moved. The floods, O Lord, raise themselves up. They lift up their voice, and the floods raise up their waves. Thy testimonies are most faithful. Holiness beseemeth thy temple, O Lord, unto the utmost of days. Ask that you stand, please. Baraku et Adonai hamevorak. Bless ye the Lord, who is ever blessed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Blessed be the Lord, who is blessed forever and ever. You may be seated. Blessed art thou, O Lord, our God, King of the universe, who by thy word causest the evening to advance, who with wisdom openest the gates of heaven, and with understanding changes times and variest the seasons, and disposes the stars in their stations in the sky according to thy will. Thou createst day and night, causest the light to recede from before the darkness, and the darkness before the light. Thou causest the day to pass away, and bringest on the night, and makest the division between day and night. The Lord of hosts is thy name. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who bringest on the evening twilight. We continue together. With everlasting love hast thou loved the house of Israel, thy people. A law and commandments, statutes and judgments hast thou taught us. Therefore, O Lord our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will discourse of thy statutes. We rejoice and exult in the instructive words of thy Torah, commandments and statutes forever and ever. For they are our life and the prolongation of our days, and on them we meditate day and night. May thy love never depart from us. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who lovest thy people Israel. Please stand for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Baruch Shem Kevo Malkuto Leolam Vaed. Blessed be his name, whose glorious kingdom is forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol medecha ve'hayu ha'levarim ha'ele asher Elokim etzavaka hayom al levavecha v'shimnantam levanecha v'lebarta bam v'shivtecha b'betecha uvletecha b'derech ובשפך ובחומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך.
We continue together. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. These words which I command thee this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children. And you shall speak of them when you sittest in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. You may be seated. And it shall come to pass, if ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give the rain of your land in its due season, the former rain and the latter rain, that you may gather in your corn and your wine and your oil. And I will give grass in your field for your cattle, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Take heed to yourselves, lest your heart be deceived, and ye turn aside, and serve other gods and worship them. And the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you, and he will shut up the heaven that there be no rain, and that the land will not yield her fruit. And you will perish quickly from off the goodly land which the Lord giveth you. Therefore shall you lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and ye shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. Ye shall teach them to your children, talking of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down and when you rise up. And you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, that your days may be multiplied in the days of your children, upon the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give them, as the days of the heavens above the earth. Excuse me. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor, דבר בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי, דגדיהם לנורותם ונעתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו ודרכתם מכל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם ולא תעתורו אחר לבבכם ואחר עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוציא אתכם מארץ מצרים לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen. I'm sorry. Our hymn this evening can be found on page 210 of the Synagogue Prayer Book, page 210, number 4, one God, one Lord, one mighty King.
One God, one Lord, one mighty King, in unity will Judah sing, transmitting air from sire to son the truth that God is only one. The sovereign of the universe, through ages made all climes diverse, the Jewish child is taught to praise, to list thy name, to walk thy way. To thee alone when life recedes, the dying Israelite still bleeds in war. gracious God, and guide his fleeting spirit doth confide. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good evening again. Just to welcome, as I mentioned to you all earlier, the Chusky family from Toronto, Canada. Welcome you all, family et al. I know. Welcome you all. It's wonderful to see you again. We know it's a very special day tomorrow, and we're looking forward to it. May you enjoy the service this evening, and especially tomorrow morning. Thank you for choosing here as this special, very, very special occasion. Just to mention to those of you whom I may not see before Tuesday actually, Happy New Year, for secular New Year anyway. I hope 2019 is wonderful for all of you, that it is a huge plus no matter what. But it won't be a huge plus unless we make it a huge plus. We can't just expect everything to be done by others. And I suppose on a little less nice note, as you know, we provide talit and yarmulkes for all congregants who come, especially if they're taking part in the services on a Saturday morning especially. And we've been finding that they've been leaving. And we're having less and less of them available. I'm asking you very, very much that any of you who may have some at home that you've accidentally taken home with you, whether yarmulkes or talits, please, please, please bring them back for me. Please bring them back for me. And because it may get to the point where I have to literally dole them out one at a time and take a name so I can get them back, because it costs the synagogue, as you appreciate, and it's not very nice to remove them otherwise. Thank you. Sorry about that little bit of notice, but that was necessary because it's becoming a little extreme now. I think that's everything in the way of announcements. We will continue on page 18 of the Synagogue Prayer Book. True and firmly establishes all this with us, that he is the Lord our God with none besides him, and we Israel are his people. He is the God who has avenged us of our adversaries and dealt out a recompense to the enemies of our souls. He hath caused us to tread on the high places of our enemies, and exalted our horn above all who hate us. In his wrath he smote all the firstborn of Egypt, and brought out his people Israel from among them unto everlasting freedom. His children beheld his might. They praised and gave thanks to his name, and willingly submitted to his dominion. And it is, upon the sea, O Lord our God, thy children beheld thy majesty. Altogether they praised thee, proclaiming thy kingly power, and said, Adonai Mlok leolam va'ed, the Lord shall reign forever and ever. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who hast redeemed Israel. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Avinu leShalom Vehanamidenu Malchenu Lechaim סוכת שלומך ותקיננו עצה טובה מלפניך והושיענו מהרה למען שמך והגן עדנו ופרוס עלינו סוכת רחמים ושלום ברוך אתה אדוני הפרס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל עמו ישראל והירושלים Amen.
Blessed art thou, O Lord, who spreadest a tabernacle of peace over us, and over thy people Israel, over Jerusalem, and over all mankind. Amen. Will you please stand for the evening Veshomru?
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. יתקרב ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויעמד ברכתי וימליך מלכותי, ויצמח בקרני וקרב נשיאי. בחייך וביומך ובחייך בית ישראל, בגאלה ובזמן קריב שמרה במברך, לעם 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 היה יברך וישתבח, יפר ותרומן ותנשא, ויתהדה ויתעלה, ויתעלה שמר קודשה ברקבו, לעלם כל ברכתה, שירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה. Damiron Brahma Amen.
May be seated, or we continue, excuse me. Please remain standing, and we will continue in the middle of page 21. In this moment of silent communion with Thee, O God, a still small voice speaks in the depth of my spirit. It speaks to me of the things I must do to attain holy kinship with Thee and to grow in the likeness of Thee. I must do my allotted task with unflagging faithfulness, even though the eye of no taskmaster is on me. I must be gentle in the face of ingratitude, or when slander distorts my noblest motives. Excuse me. I must come to the end of each day with a feeling that I have used its gifts gratefully and faced its trials bravely. O Lord, help me to be ever more like thee. Holy, for thou art holy. Loving, for thou art loving. Speak to me then, O Lord, as I seek thee again and again in the stillness of meditation, until thy bidding shall at last become for me a hallowed discipline, a familiar way of life, so that I may live on in deeds that bless other lives and leave behind me the heritage of a good name. Amen. We'll continue with personal silent prayer for a few moments. And should it be your wish, you may chant the Amidar silently. You can find it on page 3940. We'll continue together on final paragraph, page 21. O my God, guard my tongue from evil and my lips from uttering deceit. Let my soul be silent towards those that curse me, and grant that my soul may be humble as the dust to everyone. Open my heart to receive thy Torah, that my soul may pursue thy commandments. Speedily, I beseech thee, frustrate the devices and destroy the machinations of all those who rise up against me for evil. O grant it for the sake of thy name, grant it for the sake of thy right hand, grant it for the sake of thy Torah, grant it for the sake of thy holiness. O save me with thy right hand, and answer me.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen.
O say shalom bimromav, uvrakamav yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen.
Yom asher shivayacholu hashamayim ve'haaretz ve'chol sevam vayechol Elohim vayam hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot vayom hashvi michol melachto asher asa vayevrech Elohim et yom hashvi vayekadesh oto ki vo shavat michol melachto ki vo shavat michol melachto asher bara Elohim asher bara Elohim lasot.
We continue together on page 22. Our God and God of our fathers, accept, we beseech thee, our rest. Sanctify us with thy commandments and grant our portion in thy Torah. Satisfy us with thy goodness, gladden our souls with thy salvation, and purify our hearts to serve thee in truth. Cause us, O Lord our God, to inherit thy holy Sabbath with love and delight, and grant that all Israel who hallow thy name may have rest thereon. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who hallowest the Sabbath. As in the world around us, so too in human life, darkness is followed by light, and sorrow by comfort. Life and death are twins. Grief and hope walk hand in hand. Although we cannot know what lies beyond the body's death, let us put our trust in the undying Spirit who calls us into life and who abides to all eternity. Let us sanctify the names of all those who have gone before us with the Mourners Kaddish, page 22-23. Vit kadal vit kadal shemeraba. Vialmad verkirote viamlik malkote viatzmar pukane vikare meshike. Vekai kol mekoli vekayab de kolbe Israel bala with man karivim ru. Amen. Hey shemeraba merakle alam ne almel maya yet barak. Vishtabak vitapar ruchuman vitna se vitadar vitale vitalal shemede kusha beraku. Alamin kol berakata shirata chishpakata venakamata damiran bealma. Vemru, Amen. Ehe Shalamarava min Shamaya Kaim Vesava Yeshua, Venakama Veshazaba Refua, Vela Salaka Vekapara, Veravak Vehatsala, Lano Lakolamo Yisrael. Vemru, Amen. O say Shalom Bimrumav, Uvrakamavia say Shalom, Aleinu Veal Kol Yisrael. Vemru, Amen.
O say Shalom Bimrumav. Uberachama Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael. O say Shalom Bimrumav Uberachama Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael. Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael. V'emru Amen.
To all our beloved departed whom we now remember, may peace and bliss be granted in life eternal. May the Father of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort any bereaved among us. Let us say,
Amen.
you may be seated and service will continue with the 23rd Psalm, page 24.
Shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake, Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, thy rod and thy staff, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. They comfort me. Surely, surely, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever, forever, forever.
This week's Torah portion, Shemot, is the first of the book of Exodus. And if you had any chance to have a look at it, you'll find that this parasha is very fast moving. I mean, it literally goes from from Moses being a baby, being born, or even before that, straight through to Moses an adult and his return to have a little discussion with Pharaoh. But for me, the two little pieces of this Torah portion that strike me anyway is one right in the beginning when it said that a new Pharaoh came into being and did not know Joseph. And that the children of Israel had multiplied quite significantly, and he was afraid. And the other part, which gives a whole different aspect of human nature, is the time when the point where Moses actually had an encounter with God at the burning bush, and a bit afterwards, where at that time already his humility was evident. Two very important human traits. One I don't have a lot of time for, but another one quite significantly so. But I'm going to deal with the first one with Pharaoh very briefly this evening. And that he feared the children of Israel. What did he fear? Their numbers. Yes, it tells you that he feared that they would band with another group if they ever went to war or something like that. Fairly insignificant because Egypt was rather powerful even then. Or more so then, maybe. So that was to me an excuse. But I think what he was afraid of was what so many of us even today are afraid of, is the unknown. We're quick to judge, we're quick to criticize, we're quick to find fault before we have had any chance to identify, to understand, or interact with the people that live around us. Worse yet, if they happen to be coming from other countries, or be that, but I won't get too political. And I think this is something that, as in Jamaica, especially for our friends in Canada, they too know this, because I was in Canada earlier this year, and the mix of the population in Canada is so significant now compared to when I was there back in 1970 time, you know, way back then. It's so different now. And for me, it was quite interesting. And certainly not a problem, because we've grown up here in Jamaica with a whole potpourri of different races, types, and all sorts of mixtures that you can think of. And we've learned to live with each other in this country very comfortably, and we kind of figured out how. Just by getting to know each other, being decent and respectful to each other. And I think this is something that even then, when you think that even then, way back in Torah times, that somebody as powerful as the Pharaoh was afraid of people that were essentially doing nothing to him. In fact, he probably got significantly more from them when he collected taxes and they looked about all the sheep rearing and stuff that the Egyptians didn't like, right? He would have thought that he would have been a little more understanding, given the history. But this is what we do. We jump in, our fear takes the better of us, we judge, and then we hate. And if we hate, essentially issues like slavery come along. So for me, that little bit is the most significant point of the Torah portion today. There are many others, as I mentioned, even another. But I think we need to look at that. And I think that maybe the fact that the Chewskis chose to come to Jamaica for this very special occasion for Morris, I think says something about them and their family and their friends. But there's no fear, there's no uncertainty. They knew what they wanted to do and they understood and took the time, a year ago or more, to come here, talk to us in this synagogue, talk to this congregation, to be part of something that they wanted to do. And I thank you for that, because that little bit of respect paid to us in Jamaica, that's a big deal for us, a big deal, okay? Because plenty pass us off as nothing more than just a little crew of some little Jews or some set of people who they're not even sure so Jewish that hang out in this little corner of the world. Thank you for choosing to be here with us for this special weekend. I think that's about much as I need to say this evening. I ask that you stand as the ark is open. Thank you. As I'm waiting for the ark to be opened, I should mention that Jim Pear, many of you know him, was one of our choir, phoned me today and asked, send all the best for the new year and all the best for all the congregation. And he says he misses us badly. The service will continue on page 25 with the Adoration Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'tet g'la l'tzeh bereshit shelo asanu kegoye haratzot velo samanu kemishpachot harama shelo samchel kenu kahem v'goralenu kechol amonem v'anachnu kurim u'mishtakavim u'modim l'fnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'shamayim v'yaseh haaretz u'Moshe v'karo b'shamayim mima'al u'shkinatu zo v'gabe merumim Hu Eloheinu v'enon Emet Malkeinu ve'efes ulato K'katuv b'Torah ve'yadatayam ve'hashivota el levavecha Ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim mima'al ve'haaretz mitachat Enod v'ne'emar v'aya Adonai v'melech al kol haaretz hayam ha'u Bayom ha'u Yeh Adonai Echad Ushmo Echad.
We beseech thee, O God, on behalf of those who are stricken in health and strength. And on this Sabbath, we ask for your blessings on Erica Cooper and Christine Galan, Hillary and Owen Matalon, Helena Thompson, Diane Wilson, and Nicholas McAdam and Wallace Campbell, and Edith Pinchas. Let thy blessing descend upon the means used for the restoration of thy servants, and increase the wisdom and knowledge of all those who are battling on behalf of humanity. May the afflicted amongst us learn patience under trials, and speedily be restored to health and usefulness. Baruch atah Adonai rofei kol amo Yisrael. Blessed art thou, Lord, who healest the sick of thy people Israel and of all mankind. And for all those who are ill in our community at this time, we chant for their healing, Misha Berak.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mechor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mechor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
May be seated, and service will continue with our closing hymn. It can be found on page 2627, Yigdal.
Yigdal Elohim chai v'yishtabach Nimsa v'yeneter metziuto echad v'yen yachid keyichudo ne'elam v'gam ensof le'achduto en lo demut taguf ve'eno guf lo naro kelav kedushato kadmon lechol davar Asher nivra rishon v'yen reshit lereshito Ino adon olam lechol natsar yarei etuato umalchuto shefan beruato etanoel Anshe segulato vetifarto Lo kam beYisrael kemoshe or Navitu mabitel temunato Torah metznatan le'amoel Al yan nevio neman beto Khalifael velo yamer tato leolamim lezulato sofe veyodean setarenu mabit lesof davar bekanuto Melish Chassid kemi follow no tender shonran kerishato ishlak sheketchamim meshichanu liftot mechakeket Yeshuato etim yechael berov chasto baruch harean Shem Tehilato Elesh Alasesre Leikarim Hinam Lesodatel Fetorato Amen. Amen. Amen.
Test 1, test 2.